one extremely cheap bottle of vodka.
Okay, so I'm feeling pretty smug and pissed off and self-righteous at this whole censorship and deal when I get smacked in the face by words that I will not use. I mean, somebody that I sub to just makes this atrocious video where they drop some N-bomb on this guy, Kevin Kraft, and tell him to get off YouTube. So, I'm following the links, and I come to Kevin Kraft, and he's got a video in response to the Amazing Atheist dropping N-bombs, and he talks about going to the chat room and talking to the Amazing Atheist and getting more of the same. And Kevin's being incredibly reasonable about the whole thing, the whole story, and it's such a volatile word that for any American of any color to be reasonable about it's really tough. I mean, it's not an easy word to deal with. But the thing is, Kevin's saying, well, I could return the hatred and drop the C word, which I assume he's mean cracker on this one, and I guess Kevin, fire away with them, because I wish there was a word that you could use that would make a white American stop and pause and reflect upon the history of oppression and hatred and slavery and murder and the fucking murder, that went on. But to me, that word is the N-word. That's the word that makes me pause, makes me upset, makes me reflect. That's a word from history, an archaic word that doesn't belong in the modern times, that has all those echoes in it. And if you're dealing with somebody who's willing to drop that word just for effect, or the worst, to drop it and mean it, and not hear those deeper meanings, the real, then I don't know what other word you can strike them with that's going to make them think about where we are and where we've come from. So so now I'm really struck, because I'm realizing there's a number of words that I won't go to. Alright, so if after all this we can try to draw some conclusions, if I cut it together so it makes some kind of sense, I have no problem with insults, put downs, flame wars, whatever you want to do, hatred. In specific sense, if you want to take on an individual, take on the individual, take on what they say and how they present themselves. But when you say this group or whatever, and you find yourself insulting people you haven't met, I'm gonna discount a lot of what you say. But still, my fourth point is we gotta listen anyway, even if you're gonna. Because the world's experience, the individuals in this world have such varied experience and methods of expression, and I'm so happy that so many people speak English and are willing to express themselves in English, because we thick Americans, we don't speak anything else. But sometimes you have to listen past the cadence of F-bombs or N-words or whatever it is to find the idea, the glimmer of humanity, the shared experience that someone is trying to express. Because if you don't get what somebody is expressing when they're coming forward with the valid and true emotion, valid or true idea or concept, no matter how crude or how alien their expression, if you're not able to receive it, then half of the blame still falls on you, still falls on me.